10 milligrams every 6 days resulted in 14.5 kilograms fat loss in 8 weeks. Holy shit. So in the low dose, maybe more frequent administration, he got a minor appetite suppression, but at a higher dose, 10 milligrams once a week, he got almost 15 kilograms of fat loss, which is about, let's say 32, 35 pounds. So that's a whole dumbbell. Coming off only a week of crazy appetite and tapering off to continued suppression of dose. Yeah, so you need to taper off these kinds of medications because otherwise you'll be too ravenous. I've gone through this several times now, either experimenting with liraglutide, and then I came off and I got fat because the appetite was so crazy. Then I switched to Tirzepatide the last couple of diets and I came off and I got fat again. And nowadays, I would just favor Retatrutide, which I have some good experience with. And then just stay at a low and effective dose of 0.25 milligrams to 0.5 milligrams, like the Chase Irons recommends for the off-season. Let's get into the comment section and see how many negative comments and terrible remarks I got this deep dive. Let's see. Sid OK says, that moment when you are deciding whether or not to go with it, Steve drops another deep dives about exactly what you're thinking about. Yes, I'm not a drug influencer for nothing. 8-week deep microdose Retatrutide daily started at 1.75 milligrams total weekly, currently at 3.75 milligrams. So that's what, 1.25 milligrams sub-Q 3 times weekly. Dropped 17 pounds of fat. Holy moly. With 0 strength loss. Hell yes, that's worthy of a love. Already 25 likes. Blood panel came back as the best I've ever had, combined with growth hormone, TRT, methylene blue. Amazing results. Another success story on Retatrutide. Not Retatrutide, Retatrutide. Adrian, what's up, bro? Thanks again for these, Steve. Loving Retatrutide so far. I've been on it for 1 month and lost 15 pounds. From 198 pounds to 183 pounds without even trying. Well, you should try so you can get better fat loss, obviously. It's mind-blowing. Going to make my own small video on it this week on my channel. All right, you have your own YouTube channel? I will subscribe. It's a crime that Coach Steve doesn't have 3 million subscribers. Seriously, the best info for enhanced bodybuilding, real bodybuilding out there. Thanks again, Coach. My pleasure, dude. 3 million subscribers will be a little bit too much. I'll settle for 250,000. We're almost at 150,000 yet. Or now. Let's see. Aaron says, love what you're doing, Steve. Run a health and wellness clinic with my wife here in the States and have gained a wealth of knowledge from your videos. Okay, I'm happy that it's helping. Give it the Vigorous Steve special as a run-on blood work analysis and NAD plus intravenous administration protocol. I'm sure it will sell well. Which I know you're putting a lot of hard work into the videos. Many of our clients have always said great things about the info you provide. I know Thailand is amazing, but man, to have Vigorous Steve here in the States would be a huge win. Well, fund it. I take business class and 5-star hotels, but I'm willing to come over for a seminar if somebody just funds it for me. Rob says, Retatrutide has killed any desire for alcoholic beverages. Yeah, that's something that I noticed myself and what I mentioned in the deep dive, that Retatrutide might help you overcome urges or even full-blown addiction. I was never a big drinker, but since starting last year, I could care less about alcohol, he means. Retatrutide is at 0.75 milligrams 3 times a week, allows me to get all my meals in, stay very lean, like 2 to 4 weeks out lean. Oh, that's very lean. Yeah, I'm still working my way down to a 4% out body fat shape. I tried adding 0.25 milligrams of semaglutide on top of it, but it gave me terrible acid reflux and constant hiccups. Yeah, everybody seems to have like some sort of negative adverse effect to particular GLP-1 receptor agonists. And as you'll see from the comment section a little bit later on, that there are plenty of guys that get acid reflux from Retatrutide as well. So again, stick with the GLP-1 receptor agonist or a combination GLP, GIP, and glucagon receptor agonist that works best for you. Let's see, Xavier. Let me like that, obviously, so I know that I read it. Hey, Steve, I wanted to mention that even though I'm not a bodybuilder and don't use a lot of the PEDs you mentioned, I still watch your videos, and you and More Plates, More Dates, Derek, made me fall in love with biochemistry and generally how the body responds to different drugs and medications, and I've learned a lot. Win. And that's why I chose to major in biotechnology instead of arts. Man, I wish I did that as well. So I'm happy to pass it on. It's the best decision of my life. I'm hoping that one day I'll work at a major drug company discovering new medications. So I don't know if you see this, but in a way, your channel changed my life. And I'm glad I found it. Keep up the amazing work. Yes, I did see it, Xavier. Yes, I read it. Start to finish, front to back, left to right, up and down. And I'm very happy that I was able to point you in the right direction. I wish somebody did that for me, but I had to find out the hard way. And, figured it out a little bit later on, but it's never too late, obviously. Lindsay Melrose says, perfect timing. Let's see. There's perfect timing. This is something specifically for appetite control as well as when I do eat, better digestion, metabolic, etc. Well, I'm not sure about better digestion, but if you follow an elimination diet, then retatrutide can be a game changer regarding your fat loss journey. And again, if you eat foods that you're not supposed to be eating, then you might get acid reflux, bloating, gastrointestinal upset, and all the side effects commonly associated with GLP-1s. All right, let me quickly check over StreamYard. Let's see, we're still going in the right direction. Again, I have PTSD, guys, from failed live streams in the past. Let's see. Fishy says, confirm with a few others, 1 to 5 milligrams retatrutide weekly, very poor or very minor appetite suppression. 10 milligrams every 6 days resulted in 14.5 kilograms fat loss in 8 weeks. Holy shit. So I'm assuming a low dose, 1 to 5 milligrams weekly. I'm not sure if that's micro administrations or one administration every 6 to 7 days versus 10 milligrams. So in the low dose, maybe more frequent administration, he got a minor appetite suppression, but at a higher dose, 10 milligrams once a week, he got almost 15 kilograms of fat loss, which is about, let's say 32, 35 pounds. So that's a whole dumbbell. This was matched with obvious caloric restriction, obviously. Daily fasted cardio, 45 minutes, plus 5 days, 60 minutes weight training. Varying strength and hypertrophy workouts, coming off only a week of crazy appetite and tapering off to continued suppression of dose. Yeah, so you need to taper off these kinds of medications because otherwise you'll be too ravenous. I've gone through this several times now, either experimenting with liraglutide 2 years or 3 years ago when this kinds of medications were first incorporated, right? Then I ran up to, 1.8 milligrams of liraglutide 6 days a week, so I could still eat on Sunday. And then I came off and I got fat because the appetite was so crazy. And then then I switched to Tirzepatide the last couple of diets and I came off and I got fat again. And nowadays I would just favor retatrutide, which I have some good experience with. And then just stay at a low and effective dose of 0.25 milligrams to 0.5 milligrams, like the Chase Irons recommends for the off-season. But I haven't done an off-season with retatrutide just quite yet. Stay tuned though. Off-season is coming around shortly. My lower back is almost in. Thanks. This is exactly what I was looking for. My pleasure. Let's see. Mr. Jack's Demon. I was running 15 milligrams Mounjaro on the last cut. So that's what Tirzepatide. Last 3 weeks, I dropped 10 milligrams Mounjaro and added 5 milligrams retatrutide. I dropped weight in a quicker way after a stalemate of 7 weeks cut I did. So maybe you got used to the Mounjaro and pivoting to glucagon receptor agonism with retatrutide pivoted to a much better fat loss. Now I'm bulking slowly using retatrutide. I'm using 3 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's total 3 milligrams per week. That's the dose that I get so much appetite suppression that I can have 100% diet adherence. But if 1 milligram Monday, Wednesday, Friday gives you that result, I'm assuming you're not taking 3 milligrams 3 times per week, 9 milligrams per week in total, then hey, that dose is for you. I ran Reta and Mounjaro at 1 milligrams, 2.5 milligrams daily for 5 days, Saturday, Sunday off, started again on Monday. Okay, again, Jax, don't take too much, right? A low and effective dose will go a very long way. And if you read the scientific evidence, at higher dosages, that's where the problems starts to manifest. Zionic, thanks, Papa Steve. Love this deep dive. Much appreciated. Let's see. Oh, yeah, earthquakes, yes, in my life, man. Don't worry about it. I ain't afraid of no quake. Kelly, for the algorithm, I'm going to share this with all my female friends that still stuck on semaglutide. Yeah, man, that's old news. Get them over to retatrutide. That's significantly cheaper than getting pharmaceutical semaglutide, which is costing an arm and a leg and a clitoris and probably all of your extensions. So don't do it. Go to retatrutide. We have discount codes for retatrutide. You're saving yourself 10% off in the process of shopping online, obviously. Big Bob, all my lab rats have lost weight with Reta and still going strong. Again, this is not the days of the forums anymore. We don't have to say experimentation, CDs, or lab rats. You say, I took retatrutide and got this result. And you don't have to be afraid of the DEA reading your comments. Well, at least I don't think so. Amazing work again, boss. Once again, you show why you are the greatest of all time. I try to keep up, man. Mike, amazing job. Steve, thank you. I tried both semaglutide and Tirzepatide, lost weight with both, but felt the semaglutide had a stronger appetite suppressing effect and nausea as well. Yeah, and so if you go with pure appetite suppression, it seems that tirzepatide or semaglutide is a little bit more potent than retatrutide. But with retatrutide, through this additional glucagon receptor agonism, you get more better fat loss. So the fat loss journey can actually be shortened if you compare that from the same appetite suppression. So let's say you need 50% appetite suppression and you use either 2 milligrams semaglutide or 5 milligrams tirzepatide and 3 milligrams retatrutide, for example, for the same level of appetite suppression and diet adherence. Then on retatrutide, you should get better fat loss through this GIP and glucagon receptor agonism. Let's see. Improbable username says his height or her height is 178 centimeters, current weight 75.5 kilograms, used retatrutide for the last 6 months, except for the month of February, because I had to stop. I found it very difficult to gain weight. Maybe you should have lowered the dose. I tried dosages from 1 milligram every 3 days, half a milligram every 3 days, 1 milligram weekly, and half a milligram weekly. You can't eat on that? Man, you're a retatrutide hyper-responder. 1 milligrams every 3 days was sufficient enough to blunt my appetite to the point it made cutting a child's play. Yeah, that seems to be the most effective dose regarding appetite suppression and successful outcome of your cutting phase. I noticed slow gastric emptying before I knew about the side effects. Yeah, so the slowed gastric emptying is very noticeable. Again, you get that with apple cider vinegar, betaine hydrochloride, or these GLP-1 receptor agonists. And that means you really have to make sure that food volume is reduced slightly, allowing your stomach to shrink, but also making sure that all the food that you eat, you can digest easily, because with increased slowed gastric emptying, because the food stays in your stomach and now causing irritation like acid reflux, gas, burping, or bloating, then those side effects get worse. So I'm happy that I followed an elimination diet and did a food allergy test, knowing exactly what to eat and what not to eat. And then if I were to go on retatrutide, I would not get any of these gastrointestinal upset problems or bloating or gas or slowed gastric emptying to the point I get acid reflux, right? Fix your diet first and then add in the retatrutide, and then it's literally magic. Literally.